Pores in the skin, motion capture technology, photorealistic shadows and reflections that adjust themselves properly in real time, and that was 2018. Now we have pores in the skin.
Using Logan Paul in the forest for a reference to 2018 is crazy, by the way. That is insane.
Motion capture technology, photorealist. Now we have pores in the skin, motion capture technology, photorealistic shadows and reflections that adjust themselves in real time at...
I'm not standing up. I'm good where I'm sat. Thank you.
Sub 60 frames per second with the most powerful gaming GPU on the market.
I want to go on a little rant here. I think Stalker 2 was such a missed opportunity, man. I have tried to play through Stalker 2. Like, I with that game, is like me playing a Fallout game, man. I keep restarting it over and over, thinking, this will be the playthrough. This will be the one that I sink time into. And then I just get so bored. I get so... I tried playing it on Veteran difficulty, because I don't think there's a Master difficulty. I think Veteran's the highest. It's just not fun. You get like 200 credits for completing a mission that takes you about 30 minutes to do. All the enemies' loot gets you basically pennies. And then after like 3 missions and each one pays like, let's say 500 credits, you've got 1500 credits. Your armor's then damaged and it costs like 50k to repair. The only way that I could play that game and actually make it bearable without mods was playing it on Veteran. And then as soon as I go to a trader, turning the difficulty down so the prices are actually reasonable. Like, I saw this one guy on the subreddit coping saying how could you actually be poor in Stalker 2, bro? It's so easy. And then the guy just wasn't saying how he made the money. And then he eventually self-reported by basically saying he was using a bug to, like, stealth take down mercenaries, like, stab them. And then apparently their mates come over and, like, loot their body, and then they loot the armor from their body. Because you can't loot armor in the game off most corpses. Because if you could, you'd be, like, a millionaire in seconds. Mods? No, bro. I don't want to have to rely on mods on a brand new game just to make it fun. That sucks. I think that's really lame. I think you should be able to enjoy the game like base. I think you should be able to play through a game, base mode, and then after that, then you go do mods for replayability. I do not want my first playthrough on Stalker to have mods in. That sucks.
Accompanied.
The team is unionized and is taking control of your account. Please PayPal $10,000 to everyone before we delete the channel.
Thanks for the great video.
With ghosting, popping, input lag, flickering, motion blur.
I like how he's playing Sea of Thieves music. He's actually reminding me that Sea of Thieves had this option. No, they made an Instagram post showing an update where you could name your ship. And then they named the ship Dead Game and they actually put it on the Instagram.
Without motion blur, what?
I'll see if I can find it. I brought this up on stream before, I know. Be quiet. They were that salty that they named their ship Dead Game. I found it. Dead Game. This is on their Facebook. Oh, yeah, these guys are really up to date. Yeah, so they did like a promo and they were showing all their like the ship names like Goldfather, Lodestar, and then they just had one called Dead Game. Like they were that petty of people renting saying the game was dead, which it was. That they just named their ship official. Like, this is Microsoft, by the way. They just called it Dead Game. Dead Game. You just know whoever typed that was absolutely seething as well. What did you type? You should check out Fattening Korea on Steam.
Danganronpa, Silent Hill, Red Dead, Hentai Girl Karen, Fortnite. But in recent years, I found myself using mods more and more just to get my games to run well. Back in 2017, I owned a $600 PC and I played PUBG, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, and Borderlands on it all the time.
I hate to admit it. $600 PC means nothing. Like, it depends like where you source the parts. Did you get scammed or not? Like, I definitely paid double the price of what I should pay for my PC because I got it pre-built. Because you'll remember, one of the first videos I put on Pyro Live was me building a PC. And I never want to do that again. Ever.
But nowadays, it's hard.
He's got TikTok accent. It's just being American at this point, honestly.
To run any modern title on a PC under $1,500, or at least it's hard to make the games look good. Yes, of course technology and graphics evolve over time, but it's clear that things have gotten a little disproportionate.
I saw people calling her ugly. Like, you actually might be gay, genuinely. Which is totally fine. I don't have a problem with that. But people were saying that, like, she's ugly now. what?
especially when the beefiest
Yeah, dude. Okay, I'll be honest here. I played Quiet Mountain 2 with Benny, and it's just, I got it. Bro, I'm on a 4090, which is the best card you can get right now until the 50 series comes out. I was still getting 30 frames on max. I had to turn ray tracing off. Crazy. Like how they do this with every game now. It's like Red Dead 2. Like Red Dead 2 is like future proof. You have to wait for a better card to come out to then run everything on max.
dump truckiest GPUs struggle to run games and don't even break the 60 FPS mark. I'm talking, of course, about the rapidly
Slitterhead
spreading
is a character action spiritual successor to Forbidden Siren. It's somewhere between Enter the Void and Gantz. Also, Akira Yamaoka did the Ost.
Thank you, Info, for the 10. No idea what any of that means. I watched Gantz on Netflix, though. The anime with the furries.
virus in gaming right now, known
Your PC might be shit. I have a 2070 and got 90 FPS constantly. On max settings. On Silent Hill 2. On max settings. No DLSS. Did you like astral project that in a dream or something, or what? Because that didn't happen.
as bad optimization. But what killed optimization? Why do developers not care for their games to run good and look good at the same time, and instead exclusively prioritize making...
That's a damn lie, you brokey. No, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. How much is a 2070? 100, 200 quid. You got it to run on a 200 quid card? That's believable, actually. No, that's really believable.
them appealing to the eyes. Well, like many topics, it's not so black and white, and there are a lot of reasons, and starting...
I swear the whole Unreal problem debate is so cringe when it's up to devs to choose. Yeah, I think, like, I feel with PCs, it's always going to be harder, right? Because, like, when it's an Xbox... Well, there's no games on Xbox. But when it's on, like, PS5, it's one console that you need to optimize for, right? One console. Maybe there's a Pro version or, like, a PS4, right? But there's not really that many versions. But with a PC, it's like there's so many different things you need to equate for. It's like the processor, the graphics card, the CPU, the RAM, it's everything. And if like, you could have the right specs, but if you've got, like, a different brand, the one that they were testing in the QA, like, you're screwed. Because, like, they didn't test for it, and then it's buggy, and then it's like, oh, you can't play this game, sorry, because you got this one piece of equipment, so, we might patch it later, but you can also swap it out. Like, yeah, let me just go into my PC and take out the water cooling.
You should check out Voices of the Void on itch.io. It's a slow burn horror game that is basically the perfect stream game.
Thank you, Plague, for the 10. I'm kind of waiting for that to go 1.0.
The first 13th reason why
CPU's the processor? No, I know. I said the same thing, just in different words.
upscaling technology. In the past few years, artificial intelligence has evolved at an
If you hate dealing with PCs, just do consoles. I mean, I hate dealing with PCs, but then my entire argument falls apart that I don't like the PS5, so... I've got to die on this hill. Thank you, Amelia, for the 16 months.
alarming rate.
YouTube just copped the last of my cash. Gonna have water and ice soup for dinner. That sounds yummy.
AI is being used everywhere. We have AI-generated videos like this
I saw that Coke AI ad. You know what the cope was? They said it would cost too much money and too much time to recreate it in reality. Like, bro, Coke, you are that dominant in the market that you've got everyone in Mexico fat because they're buying Coke more than they're buying water because it's cheaper. It just blows my mind. How they'll turn around with a Coke and be like, oh, we can't. We gotta use AI because we're kind of struggling right now, guys.
Coca-Cola ad I got, AI-generated.
That Coke ad is fire. Okay, first of all, paid actor. Second of all, no, it wasn't. It sucked. The original one from, like, the early 2000s, that was peak. But then they took that nostalgia and then they shit on it with AI.
Essays, AI-generated songs, AI-generated comments, which is worthy of a whole different video in itself, and of course, AI-generated graphics. Well, not completely AI-generated. Upscaling technology in video games works like this.
I don't know how people can enjoy Fortnite. I really respect people that can actually enjoy it, but I don't get it at all. I really don't. Maybe I'm just an old man. And then the only game I've been playing online recently is No More Room in Hell 2, and that game sucks. The zombies in that game are all using like ExpressVPN or something. They're just skimming across the map, like not they're floating towards you.
The game runs at a lower resolution, like 1080p, and then it gets upscaled to a higher resolution, like 14.
Fortnite would be good if it was first person. Because it's third person, bedtime.
40p. In theory, this will make your game look like it normally would at base resolution, but that's not
You play it because of Mrs. Incredible? Okay, I can't even like, yeah, fair play, mate. Fair enough. I don't know.
not
You
necessarily
probably would say that, actually.
true. Even on a quality setting, some problems just become glaring. In
Tell me, you can't blue ball me like that. What's his genius idea?
Fortnite, there's some serious shadow flickering and fuzziness going on in some areas, and in Red Dead Redemption 2, it may not seem too different at first glance, but look at how the game looks when it starts
He would definitely say something like, shut all your windows, keep your tap running to build up condensation in the house, and then release all the condensation, it'll make rain clouds and save everyone in LA.
raining. What the f? AI has to guess what the game will look like at a higher resolution, and as a result, the game will never look like how the developers intended with upscaling on. I really
Yeah, I don't like upscaling. I always try to avoid DLSS if I can.
care about vision and
So I haven't done that for like 4 years.
artistic direction, and I can't help but feel like DLSS and FSR
A water nuke?
are quick and easy solutions to improve
He said destroy the fire with bombs. What did he actually say? Does anyone have a clip of this or something?
frame rate, but molest the original
Yeah, I don't molest. I don't like DLSS. I always turn it off because I feel like it makes the game look worse.
concept.
There's been a couple games where DLSS has actually made the game look better. Stalker 2 is a good example. If you turn DLSS off on Stalker 2, everything looks way too sharp. It actually hurts my eyes.
DLSS, or Deep Learning Super Sampling, NVIDIA's upscaling technology.
He said put water on it. Why don't we just get like a big play, dude? Oh Jesus, I got sent the clip. Oh, for fuck's sake. Is it? Okay. All right. Let's see. Right. What's he thinking? What's he thinking? First of all, steak watermark. Love to see it. XQC just came up with a genius idea to combat the LA wildfires. That is framed like a drama alert tweet, so this will be the most moronic take I've ever seen in my life.
Fighters have been injured
Mute
during
the
this
fire
little episode.
Pac-Man.
Fighters have been injured
Mute
during
the
this
fire
little episode.
Pac-Man.
Wait, hold on.
He's thinking. He's thinking. The cogs inside his brain are turning.
Chat. What if they, instead of putting retardant and hoping, why don't they just bomb the outer line? Like a line of bombs. Say, fuck it.
Oh my god, why didn't I think of that?
We're trying
Why not bomb the fire?
a bunch of bombs.
Dude, you could use napalm as well. Like, surely, like, two, like, if you use a bigger fire on the fire, it'll cancel out the original fire.
And when the fire gets there, it's just soil.
Oh my god, he's right. Because fire only spreads on wood, nothing else. Oh my god. I like how, I like this, by the way, putting his fingers on his temple like he's Professor X trying to contact the guild. Like he's literally uploading his opinion online, thinking like, okay, yep, uploading to the Matrix, yep, that was a great opinion.
Cooked.
Chat, you think a line over here like this, right? You think a straight line,
It's not English at all. Not understandable.
and you just fucking
How we doing on fuel?
Why don't they
bro,
just make
bomb,
it
bomb, 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 bomb. A line of fucking bombs.
Why is your nose so big, XQC?
Yeah, they could just like bomb LA, sure. Yeah, that would definitely work.
Check.
Okay, let me think inside the mind of a mental patient. I understand where he's coming from. He basically he has in his head that he can cut off the fire by making a ridge line and making basically a trench that the fire can't get over. That is so difficult to do. And also at the same time, it's not gonna work. Look at the geography here, the geometry. It's such unflat land. It's not gonna work. God, I actually wish I had that much money where I could just say stuff like that online. God, I wish. There's always someone out there putting in less effort than you. Believe me on that.
Technology has settings you can choose from, such as quality, balance, performance, and ultra performance. What this does is lower the
You space the 29 months.
base resolution of the game, so instead of upscaling 1080p to 1440p, it'll upscale
Did you see Bitwit lost his house to the fire? I saw that in my recommended, but I don't really want to watch that on stream. Yeah, I don't know. Do we watch that on stream? I feel like that's a bit... I don't know. Nah, I got kind of a bad feeling about watching that on stream, honestly. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit disrespectful.
720p or 480p to 1440p. The lower the base resolution, the more inaccurate the upscale. And for real, who the hell even plays on performance modes? DLSS is only enabled on RTX cards anyway, and I'm pretty sure
I do. I play on DLSS. I prefer not to, though. But like, if I'm not getting a consistent 60, then I turn it onto quality.
All of those cards are capable enough for gamers to not have to submit to the worst case scenario to enjoy a video game.
That combat encounter there reminds me of the entire reason why I don't pick up Cyberpunk to play again. 4 headshots with a pistol, by the way.
Oh shit. Another AI-generated solution modern NVIDIA GPUs are utilizing is the brand spanking new frame generation method. What this does is it takes 2 frames from your game and will use AI to interpret what a middle frame would look like. So basically, your frame rate will go from 30 to 60. This will inevitably cause input lag, but for laid-back gamers who use wireless controllers, that won't be much of an issue, since wireless controllers obviously have input lag.
No, input lag is terrible. Input lag is arguably worse than frame dips. Dude, I remember playing Red Dead 2 on the PS5 when it came out because I do the thing. I hate this so much. I double dip with Rockstar games. I buy it on console because it comes out 2 years early, and then I buy it on PC. I double dip, which is exactly what those greedy men want at Take-Two. That's exactly what they want you to do. And I do it because I'm an idiot. But playing Red Dead 2 on the PS5, it was like you press triangle to get on your horse or whatever the button was. Arthur would do it about 7 seconds later. I don't know how people can put up with that, man. It was mental.
Already, so it really depends on what game you're playing. Now, I already...
Red Dead 2, PS5 when it came out. Oh no, wasn't it on PS4? Wait, I'm having a stroke. No, I think I played it on PS4. That's right. No, it was on PS4. What happened to my PS4? Did I smash that as well? My PS5 was behind the monitor, but it's disappeared. I think I just smashed them and I just leave them somewhere in the house.
already know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, just one N? Upscaling? Frame generation? This is the future of game.
I bought my dad an Xbox for Christmas. He hasn't touched it once. I'm not joking you. He turned around to me and he said, "Son, there's nothing to play on it." What do I say to him? What do I say to him? He's right. He's completely right. I don't know what to say to him.
Now I can play GTA 6.
Just a fart for like a split second.
Scaling? Frame generation? This is the future of gaming. Now I can play GTA 6 on my RTX 20 Ti. And my response to that is short-term solutions cause long-term problems, and it's already happening. Yes, upscaling technology allows gamers to not spend $1 bajillion on a new GPU, but what it also does is encourage developers to not optimize their games since they know, hey, gamers will just turn DLSS on anyway to make the game run good. I just beat the Silent Hill 2 remake. It came out this October and it was nothing short of mind-blowing.
That game ran like butter for me, but I had to turn ray tracing off, which was really annoying. At ray tracing, it ran like a slideshow. It was awful.
It was also PC blowing because my computer sounded like a Russian bomber jet trying to run the game.
Yeah, you can tell he's running it on poor settings because look at that. Look at James's. James literally has a mustache now because it's trying to over-render the facial hair.
Bomber jet trying to run the game. Still loved it to death though, and was rooting for it at the Game Awards. Come on, Luke
And
Roberts.
the winner is
Come on, Luke Roberts.
Melinda Jurgen.
If we
Wait, who won that? I didn't even watch the
If
No
we
Game
check-
Awards.
the Game
Hey
Awards.
Byro, I just joined.
Melinda Jurgen.
Wait, what was that? Who won? Oh, Senua. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Sure. If anyone else won, I would have molded, but fine. Yeah, okay. No one played that sequel, by the way. No one played it. I really enjoyed it, but no one played it compared to Silent Hill 2. And Silent Hill 2 apparently sold poorly.
If we check the recommended specs for Silent Hill 2, it suggests using DLSS to play the game at a high setting on
Yeah, Senua was like fully mocapped and stuff. I mean, James's actor was as well, but it was a lot more around the mocapping.
the recommended
Yeah, they put Outlaws on there. That's hilarious.
graphics card. Silent Hill 2 looks incredible, but it's also Silent Hill 2. The entire game is set in these liminal spaces, so too difficult to run even if it looks realistic. Well, if we install the Sunny Hills mod, which turns the town of Silent Hill into a normal small town on a beautiful day, we can see the actual draw distance for the game. Enemies pop in pretty close to James, but the areas that are loaded in are actually surprisingly
Also, I got the bad ending when I played this off stream. Because apparently if you get the bad ending by stamping on enemies. Every enemy you stomp on gives you a negative point to the ending where James kills himself. So if you play the game the way it was intended to be played, you die. What does that mean? Dude, if I make a mention on video on this, which I probably won't because it will get 7 views, I will actually be absolutely rent-free about that design choice. Like, I played Dead Space recently. Oh my god, you can't stomp on them now. No. You gotta let him get back up. That's not a fair fight.
far away. What's strange about this is that in the unmodded game, the fog is thick and so close to James, you never even see the buildings that are actually loaded in. Rendering most of the map like this at once is not only pointless, because it takes a significant
If you examine the Angela knife, didn't do it once. Did not look at the knife once. I looked at it once because the game forces you to look at it as soon as you pick it up. I never looked at it again because I knew it'd do that. Still got the bad ending.
chunk of performance straight out of your game for no reason at all.
It was literally because I was stomping on enemies. That's why I got the bad ending. And I killed every enemy that I saw as well, which apparently is another point.
But it's also ironic because
Like, I know when I do the video, I'm gonna be like, this shows that James is able to move on from his trauma, not engaging with it. But meanwhile, while I'm playing the game, gay, just like hitting an enemy with a pipe and then getting the bad ending for it.
the fog existed in the first few Silent Hill games for this exact reason. The PlayStation 1 didn't have the power to load distant areas, and to hide the hardware shortcomings, Team Silent
Oh my god, he looks like he's about 12 there. Look at actual baby PewDiePie.
slapped a bunch of fog onto the game, which fortunately gave it a more ominous tone, but
That's crazy. Thank you, Loudest, for joining.
conveniently improved performance as well. The fog in the Silent Hill 2 remake is still present to provide a bleak tone for the game's visuals, but the developers aren't utilizing it to its full potential. Some games make distant buildings look horrendous to save performance instead of just outright making them disappear, and the Silent Hill 2 remake doesn't even do that. Fine details still appear on the distant objects, but we never would have even seen it in the unmodded version because of the fog. Sure, you could say
I mean, that looks like ass, though. The distance with the fog, it looks like ass. But it's meant to look like ass because you're not meant to see it.
hey, DLSS and frame generation are excellent solutions for gamers to not spend a fortune on a new card to run these games.
Poor cope. Poor cope. What do you mean you're not on Pump.Fun starting your own coin? Idiot. Poor cope.
But as we can see from the recommended specs,
Thank you, VTL, for the $20. Thank you. Hello, Twink. I'm not a Twink.
there are also solutions for developers to not make basic fixes for their games because they're thinking, well, why would we make our game run good when DLSS can do it for us? The RTX 4090 can't even play Silent Hill 2 at 4K, which is the industry's current mainstream resolution, at 60 frames.
The industry's current mainstream resolution? Where did you get that from? Nah, surely it's 2K. I'd never do 4K. I think 2K is enough. I do 2K because, like, when I record in 2K, YouTube uses a different encoder. So when you upload a video onto YouTube that's 2K, it's actually slightly higher quality because it's not using the 1080p encoder. It's not because it's a higher quality, it's using a different form of encoding. I don't think a lot of people use 4K, I'll be honest.
Per second. That is not only crazy, but it's unacceptable when it's clear that
I don't think not being able to play that in 4K is a problem, genuinely. 2K, yes, definitely 2K, but not 4K.
there are obvious fixes that will make the game in question run better with
What are you even going to see in 4K? It's all fog anyway. Can you count how many bristles he's got on his chin?
out using
How many teardrops are leaving his eye?
upscaling. But despite all the graphical issues, it still should have won something at the Game Awards, goddammit.
And
4K is the mainstream standard? Like a consumer standard? I don't think most people have a 4K monitor. Like a
I've been
TV.
excessively
I'm just happy it wasn't Astrobot, mate. They got enough awards.
PlayStation 5
They actually released Super Mario Galaxy in 2007, you know. It's crazy.
Pro, which is the best console on the market for gaming, and over $1,000 in Canada.
Last Steam hardware survey put 1080p at 56 of all users. 56% of all users. I mean, yeah, that makes sense because like all the people in like China and like Russia as well, and they wouldn't have access to like, you know, all the money for the better equipment. I don't even think 2K is mainstream, dude. I still think most people are on a 1080p monitor. But there's no way the majority are on 4K. Hellblade was a walking sim? No, it was. It definitely was. That's why I'm saying it needed to win audio design, because that's all it had.
If you want the disk attachment, uses its own AI upscaling technology known as PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. I remember when the PlayStation 5 was revealed back in 2020, they were preaching that this is a huge step for gaming because developers don't have as many graphical limitations anymore to how they want their game to look. Because of the convenience of power, developers are now making more limitations because of these short-term solutions like upscaling and frame generation to optimize their game for them. PSSR is not good for the future of console gaming. Think about it. Consoles don't allow for advanced graphical customization. On PC, you can select the texture quality, draw distance, shader quality, reflections, and on console, you can choose
They need to... He's using PUBG footage, but like PUBG has to be so careful with what settings are available to people because you don't want to have an advantage if you're running on high or if you're running on low.
Between performance.
I remember like people that would play Counter-Strike, they would purposely make their aspect ratio wider on their monitor so they're able to actually get like a wider screen so targets are wider to hit.
Or quality. In-depth graphics customization will never be a thing on consoles because they're made with the intention to be convenient. So now that we have PSSR, what's stopping these companies from making an unoptimized video game using PSSR to make it run a stable 30 FPS?
Sorry for another TT.
Yeah, I can check it out.
This, right now, when some games can't even play 60 FPS at 4K on the fattest GPU on the market, is not good, and will only give future developers an incentive to use shortcuts while making the game's visuals. Ray tracing. 2 words that's been crammed into every gaming tech presentation ever since 2018. So here's a quick explanation of what ray tracing actually is. Ray tracing is a graphics
It just makes all the lighting look softer, right? And like more realistic.
Technique that simulates how light behaves in the real world to create photorealistic frames. Prior to ray tracing's explosive entrance into the industry in 2018, developers would have to make their own lighting techniques in the game to simulate as accurately as possible how the light and reflections would behave. The thing about ray tracing is that in most modern games, you won't even notice a difference. Most of the awe you'll get from a game that's ray traced is the placebo effect whispering in your ear that the game looks way better. This is Cyberpunk with ray tracing on max, and this is Cyberpunk with ray tracing off. This is Cyberpunk with ray tracing on max, and this...
I don't think it looks any better. It just looks different. Does that make sense? It doesn't look better. It just looks different. The lights are obviously a lot softer. I mean, the biggest difference is the car headlight. The car headlight's better. But yeah, it's like the lights are softer, but that's pretty much... It looks better off. It just looks like a different time of day. The car headlight is the biggest improvement. That's a very sharp shadow there, and then it's like softened. You can obviously see the reflection in the actual ad there as well, and that's an improvement.
This is Cyberpunk with ray tracing off. As
It looks more different than better, though, if that makes sense.
you can see, there is a graphical upgrade.
Right, this will be reflections on the floor, right? Usually what they show with ray tracing... Oh, they still have the reflections on the floor, but I think they're just more defined. Again, it just looks like a different time of day. You could say that that's dusk and that's like early morning. I wouldn't be able to tell a difference, genuinely. I know I've seen Brain Dead here, but to me, honestly, it just looks like the color palette is different. The ad's reflection on the ground is obviously rendered at a higher detail, but apart from that, there's not really much else going on here.
Graphical upgrade with ray tracing, but more importantly, there's a huge
Have you seen the Netflix? Thank you, Tippy, for the 10. Have you seen the Netflix series Beastars? No, I actually haven't. Genuinely.
dent
I just haven't had time for it.
in performance. Ray tracing has actually existed for a very long time, though. The initial idea for it was thought up in 1968, and Pixar started using it in their animated films, beginning its reign in A Bug's Life from 1999.
What a crazy film to start off using that.
Granted, they only used it for...
Do you guys remember a film that came out called Ants? No, you don't. Because none of you are old like me. This was like a direct competitor to Bug's Life. It might have came out before Bug's Life. But all the characters in it actually look so ugly. Because they were ants, but they had human faces. Like, they actually look so ugly. And then in Bug's Life, hang on. And in Bug's Life, yeah, they kind of made them more like kind of anthropomorphic, I guess. So it looks like they look less human, like the rounded, you know, there's no actual nose there. But yeah, that ants actually looks like a human jump scare. They look horrible. Who's the cast in that? Woody Allen? Oh my god, okay. That was definitely from the 90s. Christ. Sharon Stone, Sylvester Stallone.
Been watching your videos for half a decade, give or take. I thoroughly enjoy all of your artistic take and style in videos. Have you ever thought about making short-form movies or shows?
Thank you, Vasilia for the 25.
Have you ever heard of the game Blasphemous?
Blasphemous, I have. It's a very good game. I haven't actually played it, though. But I want to play it at some point. Yeah, thank you for the 25, Vasilia. I thought about making shorts or shows. Maybe. I don't know. I just don't really have time for it at the minute.
For like 2 shots, but
If anyone wants to give me like $10 million, though, I could probably fund something.
regardless, they did use ray tracing. That's why 3D animated movies from the early 2000s still look better than modern day stylized games. Now that we have the technology to implement ray tracing in video games though, it's a pro and a con. In some games that don't have detailed casting effects like Minecraft, ray tracing is an enormous upgrade. But in games like Cyberpunk, it looks great in some scenes, but most of the time you probably won't even notice it. It's true that ray tracing is an option. You don't have to enable it, but the support of this new expensive technology means the downfall of an old but gold method of creating reflection. I'm going to use Half-Life 2 for this example. In Half-Life 2, Valve used planar reflections to create convincing looking water. While this can be expensive to performance if used on a large face of water like an
Just literally ate that rocket, by the way.
ocean, for example, it's great
You could shoot the rockets. You could shoot the rockets down. You could shoot them.
for something small like a puddle. Now you guys may be saying, Justin, don't be a dingus, you dingus! Technology needs to evolve over time. Otherwise, we'll be stuck in the same place forever. And I 100% agree.
Thank you, Loud to Speak, for the 20. Please come to Midwest Fur Fest in Chicago. It's the biggest furry convention in the world. I'm not doing that. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do it and go in disguise. Dress up as a brony or something.
Agree with you, you're not wrong. I just think that a lot of modern developers are putting all of their chips into ray tracing, even though most modern GPUs still struggle to run games with ray tracing on. In Star Wars Outlaws, for example, there's no option to turn ray tracing off. You can only lower and enhance the quality. All I'm saying is that
Yeah, that really affected all 3 people that played that game.
while I would like to get to the point where every game automatically has ray tracing on, I just feel like most gamers aren't there yet, since a lot of people still use GTX
Hi, Pyro.
1080s,
I've been
RTX
watching your
2080s, and whatever the AMD alternatives are, I don't really know. So why limit your audience? There should absolutely be ray tracing options, but I think
Dude, I think this might just be my editors at this point trying to, like, recycle clip farming.
that developers should still put a lot of effort into optimizing their games for when ray tracing
God, that water does actually look incredible, though. I remember, like, seeing it on the orange box on the 360.
is off, so it still looks good and not muggy everywhere. Most people don't have the money to sink into a brand spanking new 4090 that
Sometimes, okay, you want to know how old I am? I looked at Half-Life 2 then, and then I thought about me playing the orange box, and then I thought to myself in a brief window in my head, I actually really miss being a kid because things were so much easier back then. Like, no stress about money or like a future or like having a family. I could literally just play video games and chill. But then I realized I had school, and school absolutely sucked. So being an adult does come with a lot of pressures, but you have total free will.
can actually
I'm 50. I turned 50 last week. It's my 50th birthday.
utilize ray
Are you George? No, actually, no. Fuck you, George. You sent 80 cents. You broke. I'm not even reading that.
tracing well. So the rest of the gamers, including console gamers, are forced to be stuck with these subpar water effects and reflections because the
You didn't have any games. You had to play demos. No, I know. I was broke. Our family were broke. Like, my parents were teachers. We didn't have a lot of money. Like, we had money, but like we weren't like well off. We're just like working class. Yeah. I mean, my granddad had to basically cash out to buy my first Xbox 360 before he died. And that probably gave me my motivation to do YouTube, which is like crazy if you think about it like that.
developers think that they can just glaze over it as fast as
Why do you stress about having a family? No reason to. You're still young. One of my balls fell off last night. The other one might fall off, so I don't have a lot of time.
possible since there's an easy, quick solution, and that's to let ray tracing do the work for them. I love ray tracing. I love shadow
My dad died. No, my granddad died
quality. I love
years ago.
of reflective surfaces. But let's be real, this is too much for what we can handle right now. We can barely even run 4K open world games on the newest cards. So why are we building video games for ray tracing? That
I could run Stalker on Max on a 4090 though. I could run that.
is insanity.
Oh, he's running it on a 4090. Maybe he doesn't have DLSS on.
And
I only have that on because the game looks worse with DLSS off, which is very bizarre.
again, if ray tracing is an option,
Yeah, I really wanted to do a main channel video on Stalker, but it's just it's actually too boring. I'm really sorry. I don't want to be that guy, but it's actually too boring.
that's great. All I'm saying is the game should
I feel like I need to do like I will do a Far Cry 2 video. I will. But Stalker 2 is just...
still look good for the people
Stalker 1's better? No, it's even worse. What are you talking about? I guess it's shorter. Okay, fair enough. You win on that one.
that don't want to have it enabled. Developers need to optimize their graphics to where the gamers are at, and not 100% to where the newest hardware is. Of course, optimize it so the games look as good as possible on that hardware, but don't make it impossible for everybody else,
Pyro,
because
I
that's
finally
just a
got round to
lose-lose for
finishing
everybody involved. Now these new games, Stalker 2, Remnant 2, Silent Hill 2, The Witcher 4, all have something in common, and it's that they're all made in the Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5 to be specific. When Unreal Engine
I will be honest though, everyone's been using Unreal since the beginning of time. Unreal is like the most popular video game engine, right? I mean, GTA has Euphoria, Bethesda have their own engine, I forget the name of it. There are a couple companies that use their own in-house engine, but the most publicly available one, the most like available one is Unreal. It's used by everything, man. It's crazy.
Engine 5 was announced, people thought it would be a huge leap for developers since it would handle a lot of the fine
The
graphical
creation engine, that's right. It's funny it's called the creation engine. It destroys and crashes every PC in its path.
details, taking the work off of the programmers. The flaw with UE5 is that the graphics are incredible, but they're also expensive and unoptimized. Most of these Unreal Engine 5 games suffer the same issues, and that's not only bad performance, but very
Unity is a bit more popular. I keep forgetting about Unity, yeah. But it's nowhere near on the technical level of as Unreal.
blatant ghosting. Ghosting is when a frame lingers for a bit, even after it moves on. There's also some pretty clear
Like, it's not being backed by a company as big as Epic, I mean.
and the hardcore push for temporal anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing is a graphics technology that's been around for a while, to be fair.
That just sharpens stuff, right? I feel like I need to learn a little bit here.
Which removes the jagged edges on objects.
Yeah, it's smoothing stuff.
With it off, the game is completely raw. Each pixel is exactly where it needs to be, at the cost of everything looking sharp. What
Damn, Skyrim looks old now, man. Isn't the game... The game is not nearly 20 years old, right? It is not nearly 20 years old. Don't say that. Please, God, don't say that. My heart sank a little bit saying that out loud.
aliasing does is it slightly blurs the image by softening
It's not nearly 20 years old. It's 14. Oh, okay. No, that's not near 20.
the edges on objects.
That would have been catastrophic.
Makes it appear less like a video game and more like a picture. TAA is used pretty much everywhere now in modern gaming, and if you stand still, it looks pretty good, but if you move, it
That's still pretty awful though, man. God, I'm fucking rotten.
looks blurry and horrendous. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great example for a game that's made with the idea that TAA will be enabled. The game without it looks weird, and with it on, looks blurry. It's clear that the developers didn't take the time to optimize the game without it, and instead decided to really push for TAA. But the problem is that TAA in Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't completely
Half-Life 2 is 20 years old. Mate, I'll be honest, it was 20 years old when I first played it. Like, that was already an old game even when I played it.
optimized either, and just ruins the image when the game is moving, which is, you know, most of the game. Stalker 2, an Unreal Engine 5 game, is probably the perfect example of a game that relies
I would probably pick up Stalker 2 again if they just did not have the fucking weight limit. That was ass, man. I cannot... Thank you, Max, for joining. That weight limit was so awful, man. Like, you would run... You'd run like 15 minutes to go loot some bodies, get a bunch of vodka, bring it back, drop it off because it all weighs so much. I remember like I'd have to basically leave with just like one pistol and a Makarov magazine. And that's it, because I had to loot for everything else. Of course, you hate the weight limit? Okay. Okay, alright, I walked into that one a little bit. But the point still stands. I think encumbrance limits just suck. I don't think the weight limit needs to be removed. It just needs to be like increased a lot, like double it or triple it or something.
on TAA to look good. And
Why is everyone saying fork found in kitchen? Fork found in kitchen. What does that mean? What does fork found in kitchen mean? Yeah, I'm not reading chat anymore.
And it's clear that the game was made with TAA in mind, because the trees are dithered without it on. So basically, if you want to play a modern video game, you either get sharp, unrealistic, and
Grass found being green. Shocking. Why do I feel like I'm talking to Dolan right now? Shut up.
touched graphics, or turn anti-aliasing on and get a main dish of blurry game with a side of ghosting. Anti-aliasing was not always this much of an issue though. Let's look at Skyrim. With anti-aliasing off, the game looks sharp, sure, but it still looks great. While Red Dead Redemption 2 with anti-aliasing off...
From a hawk to a flame. Yeah, that's a timeout, Leon. Sorry, mate. Yeah, that's a timeout. That was an awful one. That was truly an awful message.
Looks sharp and weird, and like the developers never even wanted it to be an option. It's another strange time for gaming. In 2008, we had the notorious piss filter trend, where every game had a brown and yellow color scheme.
Okay, I did mention this earlier. He's not wrong, though. He's not wrong.
In 2018, every game had to have a battle royale mode, and in 2024, every game is...
Every game was so grimy. It was like Fallout 3 was all Lissad green, and then New Vegas was Lissad yellow, and then Gears of War was Lissad brown.
Made in Unreal Engine 5, and nothing runs as well as it should. To prevent this from happening, developers need to slow down and take the time to remove the unnecessary clutter that claps performance. They need to think, well, how can we make this reflection look good without rate?
Fallout 3 is painful to play through. You know what you do? You boot up Fallout 3, you change the HUD to the New Vegas HUD, the amber color, and then you trick your brain into thinking you're playing a better game.
Tracing. And they need to
400 IQ there.
consider the broad audience of gamers instead of what the loaded game journalists who can actually run the game at max settings will say about it.
What the hell?
But most
Oh, my PS2 fingers.
actually run the game at max settings will say about it.
What the hell?
PS2 fingers is crazy. And the dithering on the gloves.
But most importantly, what do you guys think about all this? How can developers fix
Your Pip-Boy set to red? Okay, enjoy burning out your retinas.
this modern
Well, you enjoy playing the Virtual Boy as well on the side?
issue in gaming? Make
Far Cry 5 Apple Crate. What was the bit behind that again? They just look like Wumpa Fruit from the first Crash Bandicoot game. Just a JPEG.
sure to let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll check them out as soon as I possibly can. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video, and make sure to have a good one.
Ah, he's so nice.
Also, I wrote a song about this.
I'm not listening to the song. I'm really sorry. I agree with the optimization thing, but I think, like, some of the points that he's made about complaining about, say, like, a game not running on a 4090, I haven't had that problem. So, again, it comes to the internal parts that you've got as well, like the CPU and stuff like that.